Hello, good afternoon. Actually, good morning, sir. I'm Peja Gligorovic. I'm psychiatrist from Wake Forest University in Winston-Salem. And I have a small, actually, omission on my first slide. I should actually add Miss Tina Natton-Dog here because she helped me so much with my presentation that really her name should be here too. So medical world will change a huge challenge. That's a generational change among providers. This is something what we are kind of aware partially, but actually this will be probably big change for each and every of us. We kind of currently have a fourth generation at our workplace, of course, starting with baby boomers who are people now gradually ready to slow down and take less of the leadership role as they have. Generation X, born between 65 and 77. Generation Y and Generation Millennials, kind of those two last one almost skip together. So all of those people have different ways how we behave at workplace, how we like to learn, how we like to communicate, how we like our workplace to be organized, what are our goals, what are the ways which we kind of like to have feedbacks, how we like to problem solve, how we like to have decision making. So it's just different. It's different how we grew up, how we've been taught, how school programs was in that time. So of course, let's go first with baby boomers. It's generation which first actually formed the term generation. The generation as such did not really existed before baby boomers come around. Wealthiest, very active, very fit generation. People wanted to change the world and strongly believed in they are different people, different generation with different standards, and the world will be changed. And the world is. People who received peak level of income and sometimes criticized for midlife crisis products and overspending and over-enjoying, but people who earn all those livings. Lots of consumerism in this generation, and they think of themselves as a special generation, which is completely different than their parents. Then they have kids, Generation X. Those are kids who are slightly smaller group because baby boomers was most focused on themselves. Not nice to say, but that's what statistics show. Smaller generation, that's kids who actually grew up in a time when people was most focused on grow-ups than on kids. Highest divorce rate in that time, highest divorce rate peak in the United States in 1980s. This is the first cohort who grew up in a public school during the full African-American integration in public school, and really generations had then lived civil rights movements. Generation who is considered to be more individual, people who are more independent, resourceful, self-managed, adaptable, cynical, pragmatic, and very entrepreneurial generation. Then we're coming to millennials, really first truly digital and global generation. Those people do not know world without internet, which is, just kind of to put in perspective how they think and how things are and how problems are solved differently and seen differently. They, of course, grew up during economical instability, huge economical instability for the last 15 years, probably only comparable to Great Depression. And they witnessed that to their parents and grandparents going back to work, finding second jobs, moving, having shifting in their environment. Very entrepreneurial generation with lots of young people willing to strive for. Very civic-minded generation, a sense of community as a local and global, and as you know, presidential election for Democratic Party actually showed that most of those people was very strongly in the civic movement. Young people, and that was the biggest concern, how that happened. Yes, that's really generational shift. Traits are lots of confidence and tolerance, but also some entitlement and narcissism, of course, from older people standpoint. They will make probably half of the US workforce by 2020. Why? Because generation is huge. It's much bigger than predecessor generation of Generation X. They are the most highly educated, culturally diverse group of the generation, people with highest number of college degrees and highest education, which is so far. So they are coming, they will be employed, and the organizations need to understand how they can change that. They, of course, as a cohort, are very, 6 times very driven to versatility and flexibility in the workplace, life-work balance. Work-life balance is the new big word. So they are optimistic, engaged, and they are team players. So they want to have creative freedom, room to prove themselves, and to be set up for success. So what we did, we took the medical questionnaire from Wake Forest University, which for last 11 years, from 2005 to 2015, and each of those have around 40 pages, around 350 questions. And those are questions they're asked for medical students when they graduate from medical school. They spend all day answering those questions. So, and we compared a couple answers in those specific categories for people who graduated from Wake Forest Medical School, previous Bowman Gray Medical School in Winston-Salem. And those are the 4 questions which we really try to see kind of how they made a difference over the course of the last 11 years. Lifestyle work or lifestyle balance, salary expectation, length of residency, and future family plannings. So, you know, to start with, we access 11 years of people who have very similar life experience, similar age, pay comparable amount of money to go to same school, lived in the same place. So very comparable group of people. We are really comparing apples with apples and oranges with oranges, which is very rare in any comparison. So those are people graduating from same medical school, very comparable age, very comparable in every aspect. So what's happened? We have 35% change in the importance of work-lifestyle balance. How that look on a charts is here, probably 2005. If you look here, all this shifting from here to here. We're talking then actually whole columns are shifting. Then right now we have 80-something% people are really influenced by lifestyle balance compared to much less. 35%, which is a big shift over 10 years period. Salary expectations stay strong. That did not change. Those people want to be paid. They grow up in a time of economical disturbances and they want to be well paid for that. Length of residency also stayed very comparable. Some changes, but nothing that significant. But future family plans, all of a sudden that was completely no influence, minor influence for your choices. All of a sudden that become a major player. So life balance, life choices, future family plans are things which will definitely affect and impact how we practice medicine and how we need to hire people. So those bringing a lot to the table. They are young, they are technically savvy, they know what is Snapchat and what's Instagram, and they know how to use those things, all those things. But they also love to learn. They're creative, they're well educated. They, of course, need some things like everyone who is young. They need to improve their writing and presentation skills, need to cut hair, all those usual things. Accountability, attitude, self-presentation, self-care outside of the office. So it's the things they need to do. But those people coming with residency and fellowship, and they're ready to be employed. They, of course, need to be employed in organizations which are made by baby boomers and Generation X. People who have different ideas how workflow need to go. What is call? What is 80-hour work week? What are your responsibility on work and outside the work? So we have a whole clash of completely different ideas where we're coming and what need to happen. So as you know, they graduated residency with 80 hours work rules, which is a huge difference. What is their expectation of workplace and what is our expectation? Generation X was much easier to fit in and do what is expected to do. Those guys coming in different. They are bigger generation, they have bigger presence and bigger sense of entitlement, so will be different. Huge generation impact for all medical organizations. For private practices, hospital, academic centers will be differently. So What's our ideas? Formal mentoring processes through employment. Those people are used to mentoring, coaching, feedbacks from smallest age, from soccer coaches to ballet dancers to everyone you need to be coach and feedback. That's something we do not have culture of that. Part-time employment, so you will account for lifestyle changes. Higher use of telemedicine offices, so you will be able to use your time outside of the office. Wake Forest, where I work, have an eye care campaign, and we implement some novel approaches to try actually to help with that long place longevity and retention of medical practice setting, but really challenges in front each and every of us. All right, thank you very much.